We will be uncovering a world that does not meet the expectations of many. A world so vast, yet forgotten to the eyes. A world that is lost within the void. A world that brings peace, yet distress to the players. A world that can falter the players in many ways. A world no Minecrafter wishes to travel to. A world known as the end. I will be your guide through the events of what brought Minecraft to reality. I will give my opinions to countless topics about Minecraft and rate it from a number out of 10. Welcome to the Minecraft Review. The Minecraft world has two dimensions only, the nether and the end. Now you can consider the overworld as another dimension, but we won't since it doesn't have the word dimension in front of the word overworld, which tells us that our world is a true world where we spawn. Now in each dimension they contain enough things to beg the player to explore it. Although, the end is losing all its wanted players. The mechanic that was released in the 1.9 update is losing its pizzazz. And why? The Nether update released back in 2020, and is currently now one of the most explored dimensions in the game, reaching at most 25% of people traveling there every single day. Back then, let's say in 2019, only a handful of people, like 6 to 7% of people have traveled beyond that dimension. But now, looking at the end statistics, only 7.15% of people has traveled to the end dimension, less than what we see for the nether. So why is this happening? Why is the nether gaining more attention than the end? Well, that is what today's review is about. We're going to see the different changes and overhauls of what each dimension brings, and at the end, we will tell you the reason for this. A vast world of danger, lava flowing from above and below, piglins spawning in armies 3 to 5, endermen lurking amongst the word forest, and the dangerous magma cubes making it incredibly dangerous to traverse the nether. A world with so much danger, yet a world with so much awe and creations. This world has brought destruction through its own havoc, but it's also brought beauty and wonder in its vast natural play. This world brings in mystery and questions on why this dimension was created. But it doesn't only give us the ability to question its beauty, it gives us the ability to traverse the terrain once and for all. And what I mean by this is that you can finally explore without always looking beyond your shoulder. You finally know which biomes and places are considered hazardous terrain. Back in 2010, the Nether was officially announced to the public, and wherever you went there was bound to be a ghast lurking around to demolish you to slytherins. But now, that is not the case. Biomes were introduced in the Nether update, the 1.16 update, and with that came the inclusion of new mobs, such as the Hoglin, Piglin, and Strider. Each mob brought their own game mechanic. Piglins could barter with the player, Hoglins were considered a new food source, and Striders were a new way to traverse the massive lava pools. Although the new Nether had like the previous dangers like before, it has finally brought safety to the player. Sure, a Piglin would attack you, but if you were wearing gold, you'd be safe. And of course a Hoglin could attack you, but you could use wart fungi to flee it off. And of course a ghast could be amongst you, but they only spawn in the nether wastes, souls and valleys, and mildly in the basalt deltas. The nether has finally brought safety to the player, and they finally brought rewards that the player could have never achieved before. Netherite! It's a new upgrade for your armor. Not only that, but you could find a new enchantment only found in the nether, which is bartered by the piglins. And you can find items to create the respawn anchor, which makes you respawn in the nether. Everything that has changed for the better. And sure, the dangers were still there, but you can finally survive. But with the nether being the first introduction of a dimension, comes the second introduction of another, the end. Welcome to the void of despair, or what people call it, the end. A world with terror and some wonder. A world that is only brought to the player when he finally comes out of his sweaty trousers so that he could finally defeat the Ender Dragon. A boss mob so fierce that it could cause destruction around him, and only you as the player could defeat it. There's no end to this tyranny, but once you defeat the Ender Dragon, you are given the credit scene of all the developers that worked on this project. The only issue is that it's not the official end of the game, and it never was. Even though you travel back, there is another portal that is open farthest away, called the Voidless End. In this dimension, it contains much more than just a block of end rock. It contains end cities filled with wonders. And within these cities contains treasures that no Minecraftian could ever imagine getting. Treasure that every player wants in their lives. Diamonds. But the loot that you discover in these chests aren't the only thing that you are looking for. Once you traverse all the way to the top, you have a chance of seeing a end city boat, which gives you the true treasure, known as the Elytra. With this singular item, you can glide through the sky with no issues at all. Life as you know it in Minecraft has changed. But what is causing people to stop traversing to the end? That is a question that I've been asking myself for countless days, and I think I finally have the answer. Here's the deal. The way that you travel to the end takes a lot of effort to complete. First, you need to kill as many Endermen as possible in the overworld, or even in the Nether. After that, you need to find a fortress only found in the Nether that contains blaze spawners. You need to kill plenty of blazes until you get like 12 blaze rods or more. Then you must make blaze powder, and with that, you need to combine it with the ender pearls, which then makes ender eyes, and you will get at least 12 ender eyes if you follow these steps. So, what do you do with that? Well, with the rest of the blaze rods that you probably have, you can make potions for yourself if you want. Or you could just throw it in the ocean, which is a bad idea, but I don't care. Now, after you have the ender eye, throw it into the sky and see what direction it goes. Once that is complete, follow the trail until the ender eye has made a point where it won't go further. Now, once you finish that up, you should find a spot where you could dig down. I mean, dig 2 blocks down on each side so that you hopefully don't fall in a lava pool. And at some point, you should find yourself in a stronghold where it holds the end portal room. Place the ender eyes in the frames and boom, you go through the end. Easy, right? No, it's completely hard amongst the new players. Do you think they're going to remember all these steps? Finding a way to go to the nether is much easier because there are nether portal runes around the world, which tells the players, like the new players, what to somewhat do. That is why there's an increase of people traveling the nether. The end is the exact opposite. There isn't any tips or lore in the overworld to tell you to find the stronghold. Everything is a mystery to the player, and he's just fiddling around the world, la 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 la, without knowing that he has a huge quest amongst himself that he doesn't know about. And sure, maybe he does know, but he's too afraid to try because he knows that if he fails, he'll lose everything. All his diamond gear, all his food, all his experience, all of it gone due to the void or the ender dragon. So no, he won't go because it only brings death. Man, but narrator, you said the nether also brings death. Yes, I did also say that, but there are countless ways to avoid it. In the end, yes, there are many ways to avoid it, but you know for a fact that the ender dragon is still coming for you no matter what. There are no breaks when you go in, and you probably should know this by now since it is a boss fight, not a chill room. So you should probably warn the player that for when they go into the end, they're actually going in there for a boss fight, not for a relaxation chill zone like the nether. And yes, let's say you did know and you did defeat the ender dragon. What good comes out of it besides traversing to another version of the end? You'll probably just want to go back to the overworld and never go back. So at the very end of the day, what review do I give the end? Well, I give it a 6 out of 10. Now, the reason why I didn't give it a lower score is because it didn't have well, it does give an opportunity to keep traversing if you are not scared. And if you do not fail all the dangers, it gives you, then you are given the reward of a Minecraft lifetime. But out of everything that I compared it with, it's still game threatening to the player. If I were Mojang, I would update the end in the later future to make it a bit less death threatening to the player. And sure, keep the Ender Dragon challenge there, but please add points in the game where it makes the player prepared to fight the Ender Dragon, or even some lore as well to let the player knows that the beast is a dangerous thing. Anyways, that is it for me. I hope you like this Minecraft review, and I hope you can join me next time for the other. For the next video, I'm thinking that we might have to review a little bit of the caves update that is coming out soon enough, because obviously it's a new thing that everyone wants to get into. But before that, we might as well visit the 1.17 update just in case, so that we know what's up with 1.18. Anyways, that is it for this Minecraft review. I hope you like it, and I hope you stay tuned for the next one. Goodbye, amigos, and see you in the next adventure.